And good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Smudcast. This is episode 907, and we're looking at anime tourists aren't real. And this is from Addy, who came out with this video on October the 11th this month, who's got over 200,000 subs. Good for you, Addy. And this video has almost reached 90,000 subs, 90,000 views. And it's got about a 90% upvote ratio, which is pretty healthy. So I don't know if she's appealing to her audience or this is no one else knows about it. So that's the only people who are watching who are subbed. I don't know. I've never heard of her. We'll find out. Anyway, just to bring up people to speed, we do have Mike from a long time ago who's popped in now. Thanks for popping in, Mike. Always appreciate it. And yeah, thanks. Okay. And we do have Kino Flex. This is a new time coming around the panelists. Thank you for joining us on this wonderful little Smudcast where we just tear apart a video and laugh at it or agree with it and sip wine and think we know it all. And
Don't we?
Well, you sip your tea and I sip whatever I got. So no whiskey. So unfortunately, I'm not going to feel better.
I found an old bottle of Jameson.
That's a good option. That's a standard Irish whiskey you got there.
Yeah, I will remember why I stopped drinking it. It's lame.
It's very low.
Friendly.
It's easy. It's safe. It's Irish. There you go. So.
But thanks again for having me on. Sorry for interrupting.
No, go on.
Oh yeah, just thanks again for having me on. I'm new to panels and stuff, so I'll try not to butt in.
Oh, please do.
Interrupt people.
Please do. Yes, because Whisp will keep going on. I will try to interrupt and get us back on track. But if you have any insight into the YouTuber or the topic, that is great. Because the topic is anime tourists aren't real, which to us means sort of not fake fans, but amateurs. People who are just
Well, I guess that serves as a good opening question. Do we agree with the video's premise or the title's premise that anime tourists aren't real?
I'm trying to think about that because if it's a derogatory term, you could say, well, we don't have to use it in that way. But we do know there's amateurs, there are casual fans, there are people who watch things because their friends are watching it. There's all kinds of people like that. The problem is when they go on YouTube and they express their opinions that are either uneducated or they don't know the history or they have a very smattered look at a show, which is probably like the best known anime, like Cowboy Bebop. It's really good because the animation's good and the music's good and I like it. No, it's not in a review. So we need actual critics, actual people who have watched the show, and they don't have to be like otakus or anything like that, like some of these YouTubers, but they have to at least know what they're talking about so that us go, okay, yeah, they've covered the bases, the history of the show. What's the big highlight? Like, why is Neon Genesis a big deal? Why is Akira a big deal? What were the 90s about? What were Laserdiscs about? I want to know basic knowledge from these people. And then the amateurs are the ones who just got Netflix for the first time and they turned on the anime channel and they're like, okay, great, anime. I know anime. Let's make a YouTube channel. So.
Yeah. Yep. Well, yeah, that's pretty much how I would characterize it myself, and I would look at the title and say that's a pretty a bold claim because I would say tourism, in terms of interacting with different shows, movies, games, etc. It's not simply confined to anime, and I would say those are equally applicable. So you'd have to say that tourism or franchise tourism in general isn't a thing, which I would disagree with heavily because I'm someone who interacts with a lot of genres in films, like obscure stuff, that isn't to everyone's fancy, and I totally understand people like certain genres not appealing to certain people. That's fine, but it starts to become another issue when you say that you don't like this genre and demand that it changes to meet your sensibilities, because you could just not interact with it. And if you change it, if you change so much about a given genre that it doesn't resemble anything it was before, that it ruins it.
Yeah, that plays into the concept of fans who do not have a criteria that is objective across the genre, and they have their own subjective spin, like they wish this character was more like that, or they were more like themselves, or any other fan fiction concept they have. And that's not just for film, that's for everything. That's every media they consume. Why they don't like it. I wish the Terminator was stronger or more realistic or whatever interpretation. Therefore it's bad. So yeah.
A lot of people like say the same thing about like superhero stories in general. They're not able to suspend their level of disbelief enough to believe in superpowers and want more grounded stories.
Yeah, it's a funny thing because when you're studying either literary criticism, poetry, there's categorizations we have for the modes of storytelling, and one of them is mythic storytellers or mythic stories with gods and demigods, and they have superhuman powers, and that's comic books to a degree, but they mix so many other modes, like the ironic story or the romanticized story. So it's not just superpowers, it's here's the category of how the protagonist interacts with the world and the plot, and is the setting magical? Is it grounded in reality? Are we a nobility person? Are we a high mimetic sort of character that has access to things that the average person wouldn't? Or are we doing a satire? Are we doing a joke thing like with Deadpool? Are we just having fun for the sake of it without concerning ourselves with the mode of communication? So yeah, there's lots of ways to look at just anything. I mean, there's anime is so diverse. We always bring up Whisp always brings up Excel Saga because it's so
You too.
It's so bizarre that it's genre breaking. Like you don't know how to think of it. It's so crazy, and that's kind of the point. So
Yeah, mistake people tend to make is that anime, if you've seen one anime, then you see them all, which absolutely isn't the case because, there are different genres. There's shonen, which tends to be appeal to teenage boys. Shoujo, which is the opposite. It tends to appeal to teenage girls. You have seinen, which is more adult. Mecha, which is its own spin on like robots and robot warfare. And yeah, just tons of others.
Yeah, in the West, anime is basically just used as a shorthand to refer specifically to East Asian animation. Because then that just has all the genres as it has them in all its cinema, its live action cinema, as it has them in all the video games.
Well,
that's all that.
Back to the topic, I think.
Tourist.
Yeah.
Tourist. When we use the term tourist, which is a relatively recent invention, or at least for this topic, means the personification of the "Hello Fellow Kids" meme with Steve Buscemi, where somebody pretends to be part of your group in order to either belong to, which is usually what the narcissistic mainstream people do. They see this thing that they believe is part of the mainstream, and so they want to belong to it because they have it's their main drive. They don't want to be excluded. And the other are the malicious people who see something that they can be special with or that they can manipulate in order to gain something out of. Like, imagine the girls at the side of the football field watching the jocks. They're not actually interested in football. They're interested in getting one of the boys. And the same is true about the what we call the fake gamer girls and the fake geek girls and the fake anime tourists. Well, they're not fake tourists, they are tourists. But it means the fake fan. And of course you can then also load that up with an ideological agenda, which narcissists are very prone to, because that's again something, I belong to something, which is the ideology, the thing we all agree upon, and that now everybody must conform. And that thing over there doesn't conform to my ideology, so we must change it. Basically the same that the fanatic Christians a couple decades ago were all about Dungeons and Dragons is demonic, and video games make you violent school shooterings, And now we have Dungeons and Dragons is actually demonic, and we're proud of it. And video games, they make you violent, and they're also sexist, but they also need to be pro sex stuff for children, and it it's just everything. So we are basically at the point where everything is everything now, and everything must be everything. That's the end point of inclusion, and probably. In your beloved horror genre, they will at some point say, the horror genre is racist against zombies and the mortally challenged.
Yeah,
I think the last one was a joke in Doom.
We need a villain in a horror story with a wheelchair. I think that would help everyone out.
Oh yeah, all-inclusive zombies.
Yeah. Anyway.
Didn't the Cornetto trilogy do that?
Oh, God. Anyway, it's a 36-minute video. This will take some time. We might cut it short because it's painful or we just hate it. Who knows? We'll find out. Let's get going.
I can already complain about her makeup.
By the way, is everyone in the...
Don't do the lower line. The lower lid's so big. It just gives you a droopy eye look, which is probably what she went for. But no man actually likes that.
All right. Well, let's not criticize the way she looks. I'll get to that. Is everyone in the watch together? There's a link right above.
I'm here.
Oh, wait, I don't think I'm in the watch together yet.
Okay.
Oh, no. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I see
the hair is fine. The goggles fit.
What's up with the goggles?
It kind of looks like she's going for that, like, what's that one e-girl that look that was like early 2000s?
Oh. Who?
Like boxy, like her. Like
it
feels like she's going for that boxy look.
I thought it was going to be some sort of steampunk thing, but that's goggles can be for lots of things. So
I will immediately call her the totally fake tourist fan who just spends her money on figurines to pretend, because you see, I see the color scheme of blue and purple. She likes that very much. Yet I see not a single figurine of stocking.
Okay, well, if she was wearing a hairband or a hat, I'd be like, cool, it's a fashion thing. But this is a tool on your head. Is she doing welding? Is she like riding a motorcycle? What is she doing?
That's an attempt at cyberpunk stuff, probably.
Really?
But that doesn't go together with this ugly shirt.
All right.
Can't wear that shirt.
I'm getting tired of this. Let's get started.
Where's the stocking figurine?
What is tourists as being people who are visiting from another place, often with little self-awareness or a lack of cultural understanding. If you're British and have ever worked or commuted within a major city, there is a good chance that you have come across the waves of French tourist kids that are here on their summer holidays, or the walking tours that take up the whole pavement. I swear the working in retail and hospitality during these summer holidays in places like London is like its own form of ritual hazing. It is hellish. It is absolutely hellish. And this idea of tourism brings us on to today's edition of Things Weebs Really Care About. Because for whatever reason, we now have a discourse about anime tourism and new-gen AniTubers. Now, as I'm sure you've heard me bleat about on before, I am a long-term anime fan. We're talking around 20 years, if not slightly longer, as well as being a figure collector and cosplayer for around 15 years.
So I want to quibble with this. I've been an anime fan for 20 years argument that I hear like a lot of people who tend to be tourists make. No, you have not been an anime fan for 20 years. You have been for 20 years. You've been a fan of anime you like. There are specific genres I'm going to assume you didn't touch, and that you're pretty much a tourist too, and that's what people mean.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to avoid certain genres, you shouldn't say that you're you're a fan of that specific genre.
That's a good point, because even with last season of anime that was released, there was a lot of Chinese anime that came out that I was
manhwa, the South Korean equivalent.
There was South Korean, there was also Chinese. Yeah, there was a lot of that. And one night I was like, okay, what's on the tubes for anime? I had no ideas what any of these were, and I had to watch one of them. They're pretty much all the same. It's incredible. It's all Chinese mythos. It's about some ancestor who can cultivate energy better than someone else, and he's kicked out of the family. Or it's like they're all the very similar plot, and they're all 3D. They're very well animated. Well, not all of them 3D, but they're very well put together, and there's a lot of them. So there's manga for that. It's been around for a while, so I don't know how the pipeline works or the transition from manga or manhwa to anime manhwa. I don't know, but it is.
Yeah, but like this is kind of like what she's like saying here is it's kind of like a common thing in the anime community. Like they'll act as though they've seen like they're an expert on everything anime related when no, they're at best they're probably an expert on very niche subjects.
Hopefully not very popular shonen stuff, because we get a lot of people who just have to talk about My Hero Academia and their fanfic and whatever popular thing was last year that I can't remember. So I think the movie. What's the movie for Demon Slayer? That was like the most popular.
Infinity Castle
This year, right?
The recent one.
Yeah, this year.
The most gross made money in the box office than any other movie in the world this year. I was like, that's incredible.
In the world, in
beat
history?
MCU movies, yeah.
Yeah.
Or just this year?
This year. I don't know.
This year's no wonder.
I don't know.
Coming out.
Yeah, I don't know about the other years. I have to check the numbers, but yeah. Anyway.
But everything south of the USA, you can then claim is all anime fans from birth because they all adore Dragon Ball. And the question is, how much beyond Dragon Ball do they know?
Right. Or whenever they watch Berserk, they have to write like an essay about this is the most incredible experience, most horrific thing. It's like what?
We do not talk about Berserk. We recommend it.
I know, but it's just to them it's like life changing. I'm like, yeah, like where were you in the '90s? Like what happened? Like,
well,
I think
that would be
it's a good
example.
idea. It helps people grow up.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, a good example of like tourism would be someone looking at the bad adaptation of Berserk of the later chapters and saying, "This story, like Berserk sucks. Berserk is ass," and without ever having touched the manga. And yeah, that would be a perfect example of a tourist.
Oh right, we got that crazy guy who was trying to reinterpret Berserk as if the villain was good or something. We're like, wow, this is
Griffith. Oh man, that's rule number one. That's rule number one. Griffith did everything wrong.
Oh yes, that we had that guy on for about. I was with Mark and we talked to him. It was just crazy. Like we didn't know what to say. I was sort of like, okay.
He's secretly recording you. By
you never get me on for this because you fear I just shred them.
Well, Mark was really interested in talking to that guy. I was just like, I don't know what to do. It was so wild.
Yeah, morbid curiosity doesn't help you dissect a psychopath.
Oh,
and that's the reason why the only people who try to tell you that Griffith did nothing wrong, he was actually a good guy. He truly loved everybody. That's psychopaths projecting onto Griffith or from Griffith. They adore him because they see themselves in him, because he thinks like they do. That's a dead giveaway. Also, the eyes are a dead giveaway.
It's not just like it's not that they see themselves in Griffith. It's also just by the fact that they're easily swayed. They buy into his false promises of a utopia. When really,
do you know the key feature of a psychopath?
They're charismatic.
No, they have no conscience, no remorse.
Oh yeah. That
leads to all the false conclusions.
Yeah, that's like a point made in Monster. Like Johan, the reason Johan is so sociopathic is because he never grew out with the mindset he had as a child. Somewhat. He's emotionally stunted because he doesn't really unlike other children who age because they develop a sense of loss. Johan didn't develop that because he's a sociopath. So he doesn't he has like a basic disregard of other people as a result.
Yeah. And for Griffith it's worse than that, and it's not about loss, it's about loss of control. He doesn't actually care about any person in particular. He cares about controlling them. And this is best shown in the scene where first Griffith talked all about how he could only see someone as a friend who is his equal. And that means somebody who wants to be free of everybody, who wouldn't submit to anybody. And then Griffith, Guts, takes that to heart and thinks, then I'll be there. I'll try to be that, but never told Griffith, of course. Then you had that scene where the Griffith and Guts would have that last duel in winter, and Guts would then leave. And Griffith, because Guts just proved that that's what he is. He isn't just somebody who submits to Griffith. He's his own person. And that is the moment Griffith realized Guts slipped from his hand. And that is what devastated Griffith.
Mm-hmm.
And people who have no actual empathy and who are narcissists and psychopaths, they don't understand that.
I think a second...
They think Griffith broke down because his friend Guts left him.
I think a second rule of knowing you're not a tourist is you actually watched Monster all the way through.
I still haven't done that.
Really?
I'm not a fan of psychopath anime.
Yeah, but that's like the European anime horror story. That's like the best one we've got.
I know, and it's the only Germany accurate anime.
I know, it's great.
But smart. I already know the psychopath doctors in my country.
Oh.
I don't need an anime to remind me.
You need the German version of like the Reich and what they could have done with children. Yeah, it was crazy. Anyway.
They do this today.
All right. Let's keep going.
Been in this fandom, been in this space for a good long while, all before my preteens, up until now being an adult. I was there for the late 2000s and early 2010s anime conventions. Tangle Miku wig pulling at my scalp and grown men with free hug signs that should be more concerned about their body odor than getting young girls' attention. No. And because I've been in this community, this fandom for so long, I do consume all kinds of anime media, and I have encountered and watched all kinds of anime media. Everything from the classic moe blob slice of life anime, which I think we all enjoy in some capacity, whether it be K-On!, Bocchi the Rock, or something in between, all the way to more controversial and polarizing media, which often incites discussions around censorship and what should and shouldn't be within anime. And for a bit of context, I'm kind of in this...
So you watched visual novels? Is that what you're saying? You didn't play them? What's going on here?
Was that a version of Higurashi?
I don't...
No, I think that was...
I don't think that was Higurashi.
Oh, it was Elfen Lied, I believe.
Huh.
Oh, no. Elfen was redheads with superpowers, not blue hair, was it?
Oh, go back for a moment.
All right.
About
rock or something in between, all the way to more controversial and
that's definitely... Uta. Yeah. Seiya no Uta, yeah.
Doesn't ring a bell.
I don't know, yeah. I haven't played it.
Yeah, see, we're tourists.
We don't know what this is.
Look! I loved Utaware Monon. If that's any help. Oh, there was an entry.
I liked Umineko When They Cried. That visual novel. I think that's a masterpiece.
The first one, yeah. I don't know about the ones after that.
Isn't that Higurashi?
No.
That's also called When They Cry.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah. Well, it's from the same guy, Ryukishi.
Oh, good. It broke me. I couldn't keep going. It couldn't keep going.
Come on.
It's too much. It's too much.
Jesus, anyway.
I have too much. Look, Smut.
What?
I am not a psychopath. I have emotions.
I am not a psychopath either, and I got through it. Anyway, let's...
That's what a psychopath would say.
polarizing media, which often incites discussions around censorship and what should and shouldn't be within anime. And for a bit of context, I'm kind of in this personal weird grey area when it comes to censorship, purity culture, and fandom.
Okay, here we go.
It's actually a topic that I plan to cover in a future video, and I already have a 12-page and counting script for. But to simplify it for this video and for the topic that we're actually discussing, I do believe there is this fine line between dead dove don't eat, but also questioning why somebody would want to eat it. But the controversy that has been occurring in online anime spaces over the last couple weeks is this discourse about new gen anime fans, people not knowing the history or appreciating the history of anime, and people also trying to
Well, pause this real quick. How much of this do we agree or disagree with?
Only watches Naruto, One Piece, Dragon Ball, and other common so the genre of a specific type.
The people who watch the stuff that just runs on that one TV station or basically now Crunchyroll. Front page.
They would have to know more about before streaming, right? They'd have to HBO or pay-per-view or whatever else
because it's the entry level stuff. But
Adult Swim stuff essentially. Or Nickelodeon. Anyway, likes anime because it's trendy. Yeah, that would be a thing for people on YouTube. Like they would just pick up on something that they kind of like, and they started up talking about anime.
Yeah, and that's the belonging issue I talked about.
Yeah.
If the moment culture shifts to something else, then they will drop anime like yesterday's toy and then pretend to be all about the new thing.
All right, this one is a little confusing. We'll join the anime fandom for the sake of policing others in the community. I don't understand why you would police others in the community if you're only a tourist. That sounds kind of like
To make it change things to their liking, essentially. Like a good example would be people changing things in franchises to fit the modern audience when really a modern audience doesn't really exist.
Is that like
It's just that.
It's to create a modern audience.
Yeah, I'm assuming like the criticism of like jobless reincarnation or freerun, all this silly accusations that the guy's a pervert or freerun is racist, or it's like, what are you talking about? Like, what? This has nothing to do with the story.
The freerun criticisms are the funniest part because it's the people like criticizing it for being racist that are the actual racists because they're comparing minorities to demons.
Yeah.
That's actually the thing why Frieren stood out, because Frieren correctly described through the demons the psychopathic modus operandi, and the psychopaths felt called out, so they were in damage control mode. They got, oh god, they're gonna spot me, and that's why they then went into active gaslighting mode.
It's again, you worded it perfectly. It's just like the people who justify Griffith, his actions. It's why they feel the need to defend the demons because they want to believe that there's an inherent redeeming quality to them or something to that degree when no, there isn't. They're just evil.
Yeah, and let's assume for a second that demons aren't real. There is no magic. You cannot wield the elements and cast fireball and lightning to be very, very frightening. No, that is all just metaphor. And historically, in all mythology, demons are the metaphorical piece to describe psychopaths, to describe sadists. And that's why we have these mythological figures.
All right, let's keep going. We have berates you for liking something they don't like. Yeah, it's kind of childish. Thinks fan service is sexist and drawings equate to real life issues. That's a weird one.
Oh yeah, those kind of fit together all in one. These last three, and they are done by the malicious tourist who is basically the Christian mom, just now with the socialist agenda. That wants to police you and pretends to be a fan. I'm totally like you. Also, you must change everything. And that's how we now end up with the cuddly face beholder in Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. Fun fact, like the Japanese Communist Party also does not like fan service, and they're trying to get it banned in Japan, but haven't been successful. Like I believe the examples the examples they use are like the fan service in One Piece. If you're familiar with like how Oda, the author, draws women.
Oh yeah, of course,
like
because they don't like they don't like women looking like women and men looking like men because they look different, and their goal is to have everybody and everything look the exact same because they think conflict comes from people being different, and when we make everybody the exact same, then there will be peace. And that is why Mao Zedong, for example, demanded that everybody wear these gray jumpsuits so that the men and women look the same. That's where that comes from. And in a variation, the critique of the feminists in the West aims to create the same thing. That's why they want to make the women look like men and the men look like women.
All right, let's continue.
anime and potentially try and get rid of things that feel iconic and emblematic of classic anime tropes, demanding that the community and the media that we enjoy should adhere to newer and more rigid lines of taste. And you may be wondering how we got here, and the answer to that is one now infamous viral video, which did not do so well for the guys who made it.
Oh no.
So just last month, on September 2nd, popular short-form anime content creators, the Anime Men, ended up uploading a video titled, "We ranked the first episodes of every year's most popular anime, 1961 to 2025. Although allegedly, according to some comments, the original title didn't actually state that they were only watching the first episodes of these kind of popular anime per year, and instead was just very, very vague, basically just saying we watched the most popular anime. And they only made this change after the controversy began picking up once they uploaded the video. But essentially, this video is exactly what the title describes. A group of anime men sitting down and watching...
Yeah, this was kind of, we got grossed out after a while. It's like, why did
He scratched his balls so
why
often.
did you film yourself from that angle, sitting like that? just show you watching the show, not without the thing you're watching, just, from behind.
How to give anime fans a bad rap.
Yeah, that's one way to do it.
the most popular anime
Oh,
per year.
Gigaman Prime joined.
Yay, Ginga is here. No, he's not.
And he's gone.
And
And he's
ranking the
back.
first
There he is
episode
again.
of said anime. And as
And he's back.
expected, with a just over 26-minute runtime, there just wasn't a lot of room for detailed and in-depth discussion and dissection of said shows, with each anime that they covered getting anywhere from 10 to 60 seconds of dedicated review.
You finished Doraemon, the first episode
could
was
really
lost in
call
time,
that a review,
1973, and we watched 2 minutes of it.
No, just slideshows. Doraemon's F tier. Doraemon's F tier.
As you can imagine, 1 minute or less per show is pretty thin on the ground. And so the comments that they included as they built their ranking were often just clickbaity and
Well, if you start attacking very famous classic shows of any nature, of course fans of that are going to attack you. Like, it's so obvious. And you could
And also, I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah, you could say that, the animation is bad, but you have to grade it for when it came out and what technology was like and what media was like. And you have to think in that way. So you have to turn parts of your brain off and say, all right, let me think about this. These guys did not even have the capacity or patience to even start doing that. So they come
They
across...
didn't even coordinate a set of attributes that they would all go by, but everybody just winged it by himself.
You had to have a standard to like, okay, when we evaluate stuff from the 70s, we have to understand the palette they were using, the resolution, the frame rates, how long something took, how much it cost, why it came out in 5-minute segments as opposed to 6, 7 or 8 minute, because some of them were really short. They were just short little things that you would watch in between other shows. So they had to understand that before they can evaluate it. And they just went, no, it sucks. F tier. You're like, what? No, it's Astro Boy.
Yeah.
It's like the classic. It's like the original.
Yeah, exactly. There's no point to this if you're not going to compare to everything else that was available at the time.
Yeah.
Because
it's
because
the
it puts
foundation,
everything in
Robert. It's where you
perspective.
start. It's pioneer work.
Yeah.
It's what everything else builds on. So of course it's not going to be perfect.
It was weird how they did. It was very insulting. Even if you didn't know anything about anime, you're just like, why are these kids being so like childish?
They basically just judged everything by whether they personally liked it or not, which is a purely subjective emotional thing. There's no other criteria.
Yeah, which is
That's
why
it's all over the place.
Which is why they brought up when I said Yurusei Yatsura, I was just like laughing, like how the hell did that like get through their brains that this is good? Anyway,
usually falling back on phrases like mid, peak, Guna, all that kind of stuff. I actually did a full watch through and live reaction to this controversy, to this particular video, over on my Patreon. And that video is nearly 3 hours long. I spent a lot of time yapping and dissecting and sharing my thoughts, so if that's a bit of you, I recommend checking it out. And let's not mince words, let's be perfectly clear, their video was not the best, and certainly not to my taste. But the thing that I did immediately notice about their video was the fact that it was shot and edited and produced the same way as their short form content. In fact, one of the first opening things that I say in my initial watch through is the fact that it feels like a Disney Channel video. It feels like a Mr. Beast video.
Years of anime history. Ranking the most popular anime from each year to decide once and for all. The best
Why does this feel like a Disney Channel intro?
Me and Jeremy.
This just feels like Disney Channel for anime fans. One good good look at the Anime Men's YouTube page would probably tell you that these aren't guys making deep dives and in-depth reviews of anime or...
And that is no
I
excuse
don't think that really matters.
for bad action.
anime or niche topics. Just taking a brief overview of the Anime Men's YouTube page, it becomes blatantly apparent that they're not making content for anime fans who want a good deep dive or a good in-depth discussion of some niche show. They are kind of like
I
the
don't
Jubilee
really
of
think that
AniTubers.
matters, does it? Like they're still making a broad claim, like about several shows. It's kind of like Schrodinger's douchebag in a way. If it's taken seriously, then they meant it. Then they meant everything they said. But if it's ill received, then they're just like, oh, it was a joke, guys. It's just a joke. But to be clear, like I'll give the Anime Men guys some credit. Their follow up for the video for their ranking video was good, was better. It's better than most apology videos, to be clear. But like they weren't giving it a chance. Like they were being serious and they were giving their authentic takes. And I don't see why it's unreasonable to say, hey, you didn't really give it a chance and your reasoning is pretty shallow. The same way someone with a bad video essay would lay into an anime or show.
Yeah, that's in our experience we call that the donkey defense. The fans will defend Donkey.
Oh yeah.
If he's just making a joke, guys, but if everyone agrees with Donkey, he's really smart. You go, well, of course he's serious. What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I'm
outside of
familiar with
that. Outside of that technique is called, and it is a technique, is Schrödinger's douchebag. Schrödinger's douchebag will go into a room of maybe usually unknown people, make an outrageous claim, maybe something like something super racist, something super edgy, and then based on the reaction of the people, it will either have been serious or just a joke, because that's obvious, because nobody would seriously say something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it solely depends, as you described, solely on the reaction that the take gets on whether it was serious or not. That happens after the take was made. So there was no actual thought in it. It was the attempt to fish the crowd for a positive take, to guess what the audience wants. And if that doesn't work, it wasn't serious.
Yeah, and it definitely. Oops, so go ahead.
Yeah, that's a form of baiting in a way, or gauging gauging your temperature.
Yeah, and it's just weird for her to describe that original video as like a equivalent to their comedy skit videos when it clearly wasn't. Like they were being completely serious in ranking the anime that they did.
And
so it
there
just doesn't really apply.
There was this one guy more by the end who was trying to put a little more thought into it. He might be the one thing closer to an actual fan in that group. But yeah, that they generally make other content doesn't exclude that, doesn't excuse from the fact that this is not how you do reviews of anything or judge anything.
I think we were joking
about
about
make enemies that way.
After doing that for days and days, your brain naturally started going, I know what animation looks like. I can compare now. My brain has just watched like 3 days worth. I think that was just the inevitable intellectual outcome of just consuming so much media that long.
It takes years to have a decent level of comprehension of this kind of stuff.
Yeah, you'd have to understand, again, the resolution, the frame rates, the techniques, the 3D elements, the 2.5D, all the 3D stuff that came late in the 90s and early 2000s that we take for granted.
That's the hard stuff.
That is the technical stuff that you don't know what ray tracing might do, or how 3D with cell shading works, or all the other techniques that we start seeing now in the Chinese style, manhwa. That is just it just exploded this year, and I'm like, whoa!
It's Korean.
There's both. It's Chinese and Korean. They're both doing.
The Chinese call it manhwa too.
Manhua and manhwa. There's two different spellings.
God.
Yeah, believe it or not. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, let's keep going.
On that note, I am not happy with the animation quality of the new One Punch Man season and it's done by a Chinese studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're probably
Yeah, well,
saving money for
season
the
one
one
is
action
like-
scene.
Season 1 is peaks of animation we're probably never going to get again
No.
because it was so good.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
But
what?
Oh no, I lost the point.
Let's keep
Right,
going.
if you wanted to judge that right, do that honestly, then you would just exclude animation quality from all the really old stuff that you watch in such a project, because the industry was just starting. They were just learning all the techniques to do things right. And then once you get to Macross, it would blow your mind, and you would say, "Holy shit!"
All right.
But outside of that, you can still judge the storytelling and the characterization, and
the
whether
writing.
it's appropriate for the audience, which is mostly for kids.
Yeah. For my Halloween stream, I recommend people check out the original Nosferatu from 1922 because it's amazing how much it holds up despite being more than 100 years old. It's just incredible with what they were able to accomplish back then.
While you say that, have you seen Metropolis?
Metropolis? Oh my god. Wait, no. I thought you were talking about like a Megalopolis, but I've not seen Metropolis.
Okay. You
From Fritz Lang, though, the director.
Yeah, Fritz Lang. Yeah, it's over 3 hours long, and it has an absolutely amazing action scene at the end. I'm not going to spoil, but do watch that.
Okay.
I'll check it out.
Let's keep going. Here's Axton Zero for the 5. Thank you, sir. Is denying the existence of anime tourists like denying the 6 million? Scratch that. I'd call myself a tourist for only watching the historical shows. Yeah, let's not get into that.
Yes, please.
Anyway,
Let's certainly take.
let's continue.
Surface level and accessible to anyone regardless of their anime knowledge. In my opinion, as somebody who did film and editing as their university degree and obviously does content creation as a full-time job, their video does come across as wanting to just be very, very easy to clip for short-form content. The way that they structure it, the way that they blast through all of these different shows, makes it really, really easy for them to cover the whole of the 70s or the 80s within the time period allowed on YouTube Shorts, TikTok and Instagram Reels. All of which are arguably their most...
Wouldn't you say that's an indictment on that form of content, though? It's not really. It's not really suited for like breaking down art like that. It should be done in a more serious way. Because again, I think this is like treading into what people mean by tourism, anime tourism.
I don't know. It's hard to say because if they were trying to read books, they would be forced to use their brains. They'd be forced to sit through things and articulate what they experienced, and they would share their ideas. With something passive like television or what have you, they're just like, oh, it's just more entertainment. Oh, it's so old. Oh, like their tastes are not there yet, and their attention doesn't matter. So it's just another thing for them to consume.
And they can't read books because they didn't learn it in school. Their attention spans are that of a goldfish, which means they couldn't read books because they'd have to stop after each sentence and forgot what the sentence was when they get to the next sentence.
All right.
Popular and highest earning ways of bringing in income. And I'd personally say that all of their pages mostly market themselves to teenage boys and maybe young adults. I mean, again, don't get me wrong, their ranking system was pretty atrocious, but that perspective comes from somebody who did a pretentious deep dive into Malice Doll and has been an anime fan since...
You can hit the pause button, it's in the lower left.
So real quick, it's just like, I find it interesting that this is called anime tourists aren't real. So that would imply that she's against elitism in a way. But here she is like being elitist towards like the anime men. And I'm sure if you were to describe it, if they were to describe their content, they wouldn't describe it the way she is. Like she would say, no, we're super serious anime fans. And she's just saying, yeah, but not really. So she does do like she does believe in gatekeeping to an extent. I feel as though she's implying here, like separate like the serious anime content creators from the not so serious content creators.
I sense double thing going on with her.
Yeah. Well, let's continue to see like if the double thing continues. I guess.
Really a surprise that surface level anime reviews who wants more than just a standard trending shonen show. I don't need some random guy to convince me to watch JJK Season 3. Yes, the anime men's ranking was bad. Arguably, really bad, depending on who you are, and was at some points disrespectful to the history and importance of certain anime within the genre. The irony of calling yourselves the anime men and then not knowing that Goku has a tail is not lost on me. After all, gaining over 4 million subs over on YouTube would probably make you assume that the anime men may take themselves more seriously. They go to a lot of movie premieres, they take part in a lot of activities with Japanese brands, companies, and production studios. However, the thing is, the anime men don't take themselves seriously. They don't create
so this is I would say this is like the biggest sin is that there are a large channel of like 4 million and they're not taking the medium they're claiming to represent seriously. Some good modern examples besides them would be like how AREN Hansen, Eagle Raptor of Game Grumps, somehow became the brand ambassador for Sonic, even though he has said that there is not a single good Sonic game. He does not love Sonic.
Yeah, remember how he called Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 as bad as 06? And when anyone that knows better that knows that doesn't make a lick of sense.
Yeah, it's more accurate to say that he's just not good at playing those games. But another example is Jello Apocalypse. I don't know if you know who he is, but he got into some deep shit when he admitted on his Patreon that he and others purposefully butchered a localization dub of an anime called Lovely Complex because they didn't like the source material.
Oh yeah, vaguely.
Yeah, and that just brought a lot of people's attention to how bad localization is.
Yeah, well, it shows you that how far you can get as a fraud, as a scammer, and that what matters is really not your true love for the thing and your dedication, but just your brazenness. So all you true fans, you real fans, you know who you are. Have some more confidence in yourself. If you dream of working in this industry, wanting to make subtitles or whatever, translations, or work even more deeply in it, have confidence, take heart, and do it. Because these frauds can get there, and all they have is confidence. They have no substance. You have substance, but you lack the confidence. And confidence is in a way, it's a choice. And it's a skill that you develop.
Yeah, that's why I really have a hard time accepting her defense of them. Well, it's lazy. It's supposed to be lazy. It's supposed to not be serious because it doesn't really matter. It's like saying, oh, you can't. Is this Disney? Is this children's movie bad? Yeah, but you can't. But you shouldn't be too hard on it because it's for kids. When that isn't a good defense because good children's films exist, and you're allowed to point out what makes this one bad, as you are able to criticize any other film.
All right, let's keep going.
Leveled and nuanced anime reviews or deep dives and video essays. They have fun with anime as a concept and as a medium. They use popular mainstream trends and marketing, but they adapt it for entry-level anime enjoyers and cosplayers. They have never tried to pretend to be serious anime YouTubers, so I'm kind of surprised that other people are surprised that they're not serious anime YouTubers. Kind of feels like people didn't even look
this is just
at
an entirely personal standard.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous to say, oh, they're doing a review of all this content and they're not treating it with the respect it deserves. Didn't you know they're not good at it? It's like, what are you talking about?
If they hadn't called themselves the anime men, people wouldn't take that much of an issue with it.
Think of sculpture in ancient Italy or whatever. It's like, oh, Donatello. I mean, it's just so boring. It's just they're so small figure. It's like, have any idea what you're talking about?
While calling themselves the sculptors.
Yeah, if you center your channel or content around anime, I would describe you as being serious at the very least in what your channel is about. But that's still, even if you're serious, that doesn't make your arguments good necessarily.
I would hope for some detail, even if it was like nuanced and very esoteric, and they would be focused on like one little thing. Like, I don't know, maybe they didn't like freezing the frame on Macross when the Pepsi cans were on the screen. Like, oh, it's so tacky, or something stupid like that. At least they'd be like well versed to know that. But instead, it's just, yeah, I don't like it. F-. Or like, what? Like, no, that's not. There's a reason why shows every, because they took the top show of every year for, was it 40, 50 years? And they just ran with it and said, oh, no, it's no good. Like, what?
And I don't remember whether they said where they got that from, what the metric of best show was.
I think it was most views or something like that, or most liked.
Yeah, but how do you know
Maybe
that?
my anime list or something?
Viewed by
Something
what?
like that.
Yeah, but there's several sites like that. Like there's also AniDB. They have different rankings, and there's more pages, more sites like.
Yeah, some stuff in the 80s. There was so much good stuff coming out in the 84 and 85, and it redefined or created entire genres. So yeah, it's hard to say.
To make a reaction video flaming these guys for their opinions, acting as if they're meant to be these really intellectual scholars when it comes to anime, when they've never tried to pretend that they were. They've always just seemingly to me.
Yeah, that's a
They did.
mischaracterization.
Yeah, they did because of the name of the channel. That's all you
Yeah.
need. It's
Yeah.
like calling yourselves the academics and then just writing esoteric bullshit.
The casual anime men, the not very intelligent anime. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, oh yeah, we don't really care. The anime men. Like, what do you? What do you do?
Yeah,
The uncaring anime watchers.
Yeah.
even if you don't take their content seriously, they obviously frame themselves as arbiters of like the anime community in a broad sense. So people are going to bring attention to the fact that they, despite framing themselves, basing their entire image off of that, they still don't know basic stuff about it, and will talk badly about what came before, or will talk badly about anime that isn't currently trending or that they can't profit from.
Yeah.
And the reality is that makes them the textbook definition of tourist.
They're taking advantage. Okay.
Yeah, it's taking advantage, making their shit content for the algorithm.
Yeah, that's right.
Just be some guys that enjoy the genre, enjoy the medium. But you know what? For every one anime hater versus 20 anime fans, they've also created content like their Dan to Dan music video, which regardless of how you feel about them as creators, was a clear love letter to the medium and was also a fantastic way of allowing cosplayers, artists, and people within that community to also take part. They've even
No. I don't see it as like it.
Go on.
I don't see it as like a love letter to the entire genre. I see it as a love letter to Don to Don, specifically the music.
And they had
So what?
they
And
had
it's the current fashionable thing because it's the current big thing.
yeah, and they had the necessary resources and skills to make something they thought would be popular, and it was, and good for them. But that doesn't mean they know Dan to Dan. It doesn't mean they know anime. They just
Doesn't mean they care about Dan to Dan.
Yeah,
As
they-
I said, it's the current season's big thing, or the last season's big thing.
Yeah, and rewind a bit because let me see some of those anime characters real quick. So there's Abraham Lincoln,
as creators.
Gojo, like that's another seasonal anime.
Oh.
Like Steve from Minecraft. Oh wow, yeah, that's my favorite anime, Steve from Minecraft.
Was a clear love letter to the medium and was also a fantastic way of allowing cosplay.
yeah. She said medium. I'm like, no. That's the entire medium of anime.
That's a stretch. That's a massive stretch.
Yeah.
It's just
People
random stuff
within
on
that
YouTube.
community to also official music video in collaboration with Sony Music Japan for their Beastars OP, which again was another very
That is the stuff that really, really pisses me off. That frauds like this, who don't even give a shit about the medium, get to make official stuff with the bigwigs.
Yeah, if Beastars came out like 10 years ago, they would say, "Ew, is this furry shit? Gross." Like, and it just
This
like
is a
really,
big contract that gives them money. Money.
yeah. It just like really, it does irk me that people who are more passionate about anime, like certain genres of anime, get more opportunity, like get less opportunities than these guys who are really just, by all intents and purposes, just more so marketing experts, if anything.
Yeah. So everybody with the true passion, get over your whatever holds you back, and do it yourselves. You can outdo these frauds easily any day. Get together with friends, do something, make something great, and then you can get the contracts. You deserve them much more than any of these frauds.
Yeah.
Well-made music video. And to be honest, a lot of my online mutuals in both anime and cosplay have at some point worked with these guys, whether it be on their YouTube videos or their short form. And as you may know, in the
Now we know
cosplay community,
the underlying reasoning.
This is silly. This is so. Oh, I know these guys. They're good guys. Like what?
They were nice. They were nice to my friends. So go easy on them.
Oh, you know them personally?
Through like acquaintances or friends, I guess, like you said.
Oh, so now you know why she makes double finger damage control.
Yeah.
Word spreads fast, like really fast. If somebody is an asshole, you'll definitely hear about it despite being on the other side of the world. And I'm not gonna lie, I've never actually heard anything bad about these guys. I've never heard anything negative.
Oh, why can't you look at the camera anymore when you say that? Huh?
But like, just acknowledge what she
Fucking
said. So
borderline.
she keeps in touch with. She just said that she keeps in touch with people in the cosplay community to be aware of certain individuals. That's gatekeeping, to be clear. And in a video about anime, in a video that's supposed to be anti-gatekeeping, she is pro-gatekeeping in her community, or a community that she values more.
People enjoy working with them, and that's why their videos fumble did not go unnoticed and quickly gained the ire and anger from the wider online anime community. A lot of people initially assumed that this was rage bait, assuming that no seasoned anime fan could possibly have such uneducated takes on such classic shows. There were comments from popular creators like Rubber Ross saying, "Saw the clips of this video floating around and wanted to come here to personally call you guys tourists." All the way to very quick reaction videos from long-standing community members such as Aki Dearest and Anime America.
There is a channel called The Anime Men. I know that sounds a lot like probably Joey's channel, but these are plural, men, and Joey is singular. Very similar names, two different channels. I've actually never seen any of their content, but I had to see this. So they made a video called "We Rank the First Episodes of Every Year's Most Popular Anime from 1961 to 2025. I think that's a pretty cool concept, but goddamn that dislike ratio. Oh, I just saw that Joey literally... Okay.
I keep forgetting this show has a Halloween episode. Hate being interrupted.
With some of the criticism just starting to turn plain nasty, with videos titled "Delete your channel now!" and using the R slur in the thumbnail to describe these guys.
But what the hell did I just watch? Goku with a tail. I've never seen that before. I've never seen that before. I've never seen that before.
Oh my god, young man. Kill yourself!
I used to hate anime my whole...
Thank you, Gordon. Thank you.
Like, if you haven't even seen Dragon Ball, what is wrong with it?
Everybody fought. Yeah.
Is that an actual edit? Did you actually like tell someone to kill themselves in the video? That's hilarious.
Gordon Ramsay said every horrible thing you can ever imagine. To that things even to your customers that you would never ever utter. He will, but on camera because it's fun. It's part of what makes the people watch it.
Yeah,
but
that reminds me. Like it reminds me of like the food world equivalent of a tourist. Foodies. They like to like you're probably like familiar with those types of people where they go into restaurants and try to act like Gordon Ramsay, or like try to like hyper autistically try to find something wrong with their dish or their food when they're just like, bro, shut the fuck up. Like, you can't even make a sandwich.
Thankfully, I have never seen that in my country.
Well, there's plenty of chefs. There are celebrity chefs that never went to chef school, but some of them are pretty good. Some of them, you could tell they're just winging it. You're like, okay, that's not a recipe. You just put shit together.
I make great fried onions.
Yeah, I know. It's just like Nigella Lawson was never a chef, but she has some interesting recipes. They're not all excellent, but you might really like 3 extra servings of chocolate in your cake, which is kind of gross, but people like that. So It works.
Yeah.
Well, part of being a good chef is also to be able to make what your customer wants.
I know.
And that may gross you out sometimes.
Yes, it does.
Some people like the burnt surface stuff because it's what they grew up with.
Oh.
Yeah, well, what you get from the campfire. But yeah, I've said when we covered this video, when you have not watched the original Dragon Ball and only know Dragon Ball Z, you are not a Dragon Ball fan.
Mm-hmm. I say the same thing with people who skip JoJo parts. Like you need to read or watch them all.
Yeah, and if you bought them, and this is also how you can tell a lot of the really big Dragon Ball fans, they bought the manga. And the manga contains the original story with Goku as a kid, of course. It's, I think, the first 4 volumes. I don't have it. I just know where it is in the comic shop.
Yeah.
My whole entire life, until 2020, the first actual anime episode I ever watched was the first episode of Dunn. No, it was so good. Absolute masterclass, masterpiece. 3, 2, 1. S tier!
Kill yourself!
I am not kidding when I say that I just saw one of the worst YouTube videos ever.
Many people fixating on the fact that one of the guys in the video says that he just wasn't an anime fan or didn't like anime before.
Yeah, well, how can you call yourself an anime man then?
2020. But the reaction that really pushed this whole conversation towards the idea of tourism was a video by Joey the Anime Man titled The Anime Tourism Problem.
No, we all thought they were tourists. We didn't need this guy that I have never heard about myself until this video came out to know that they're tourists. The term tourist originated before, and it applies in general. This is a universal term that thankfully we have now to describe this very behavior that has plagued humanity for thousands of years. Trust me, it's been there for thousands of years, just about things that happened, were the things of their time.
Mm-hmm.
In Joey's video off the back of all this drama, he discusses the idea and the concept of anime tourists. People who are self-proclaimed anime fans, often being younger people or new gens that discovered anime in 2020 during lockdown, taking over these spaces and fandoms and having no respect for the people who already enjoyed that media before them. The irritation of knowing that you struggle...
Pause real quick. So, I watched Joey's video on this before, before joining this live discussion. He doesn't use that. He doesn't use that image to describe tourists. She's probably going to get into it more, but I think that's just worth pointing out. She's kind of framing it in a way that most people won't, who hasn't seen his video, won't pick up on.
Okay.
With being liking anime, and now the people that could have or would have bullied you as a kid now get to turn around and make anime part of their personality too.
It was very common in the real world, and I was a big victim of this, that if you came out and said that you liked these Japanese cartoons, you would just be bullied for it. Oh, you like these weird Japanese cartoons with like your anime schoolgirls and blah, 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 blah. I mean, trust me.
It was because the girls had nothing but Sailor Moon, and you didn't even know what of the animation on TV was already anime, but wasn't classified as that. You weren't told that it was that already, as many of the European things that were commissioned that I keep mentioning once in a while. But also, what we had running already in the 90s on MTV here in Germany was Lupin Sensei, the movies, the really, really high quality stuff. And some other things, but mainly Lupin really stood out. Everybody watched Golden Boy, of course, although that was not for the kids. But yeah, I mean, if you have ever seen any of the Lupin movies, the backgrounds in that, the lighting in that, it's absolutely breathtaking. And they take time to just let those images, those perspectives breathe. When you have a Gothic cathedral in perspective lighted by a sunset that has a light reflection in the Rosetta glass that as well reflects on the water of the river in the canal that goes by. It's like mind-blowing. That image, that frame is stuck in my head, burned in the most positive way as a memory. That's what you want. That is what anime is. That's why we stick to it.
I got bullied for it in school, you know, not only being the only remotely Asian kid in my school, but the only kid really who knew about this weird and wonderful world of Japanese cartoons.
You get bullied in school for anything. If it wasn't anime, if it wasn't you being somewhat 1% Asian, then it would be something else. For example, your nose is a bit askew, or you have a funny name, or your mom gave you a stupid haircut, as moms do. It could be, if it isn't that, it will be your name. And if it can't be made up of your name, you will get a silly invented name. It has absolutely nothing to do with anything, but they will call it you anyway because you react to it and you have been identified as the Omega Chicken. And the Omega Chicken will be bullied unless you fight back.
I mean, yeah, I understand where Joey's coming from, right? Because, look, I know it's kind of a meme, like cultural appropriation, but there are times when it does become like it is like a pretty apparent that somebody's just using something for an aesthetic, using something as an aesthetic to like either grift or profit from it solely. Like it's kind of like with fake geek cred, where somebody has like a photo like of a band. But if you ask them to name like a single album from them, they're like they have nothing. They can't tell you, like not even a single song, just stuff like that. And when this is framed into the context of people like in prominent positions of the anime industry, where they're making the rules, but they don't have the same sort of passion as people who are actually fans of the content or material. And they actually like suffer consequences personally. They had some like hardships like Joey for being open about it. I understand like his frustrations that he would want someone more genuine to represent him.
All right, here is a super chat from Axton Zero again. Thank you, sir, for the 5. Call me autistic, but I think that cicada ambience was from Eva episode 4, or at least featured in it. Do you mean the first time anime has ever had like cicadas as the background noise?
If it was, no, but I think it was used in the video and we missed it.
Oh yeah? Well, I mean, it's been used so much throughout so many animes. I think even Sailor Moon probably did it one of their seasons because
it was in Ranma. And I hear it right now in my head.
Yeah. Well, the thing with Eva is that there's a lot of moments where you just sit there and you're watching the screen and nothing's happening and you hear the train go by or whatever. You're like, oh, why?
Now I hear the Cowboy Bebop intro. What are people doing who can't rotate apples in their heads? Like, can they also not hear music in their heads?
What tank is constantly running in your head? You're just like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Well, it's that or Dvorak's Ninth Symphony.
Oh, Dvorak.
Dvorak is awesome.
Imagine my shock when, over the COVID pandemic, especially, and even a little bit before then as well, I'd say ever since the rise of TikTok, all of a sudden, those kids who were definitely at school bullying those kids who loved watching anime, then turned around and went, hey, you know what? Anime's actually kind of cool.
Joe even cites that anime tourism is part of the reason why he started to step away from making anime reviews and videos in the same way that he did in the early 2010s. To be honest, most of his video was just kind of this back and forth between being annoyed that new gen fans are so concerned with what other people are consuming and have it a lot easier than we had it, whilst also acknowledging that this new mainstream accessibility and the popularity of anime has allowed the medium to not only grow, but also flourish and produce more content for their Western audiences. Anime companies are starting to actually consider consider and listen to their Western clientele. I mean, when I was growing up as an anime fan as a teenager, it was really difficult to buy authentic anime figures, for example. Trying to convince my parents to use Army or buy from anywhere that wasn't eBay was difficult, and there wasn't any local shops or...
Well, understandably, and now they all buy from Temu and wonder why they get crap.
easy UK websites to buy that merchandise from, so quite often you're ending up with bootlegs from anime conventions, or you just don't have anything at all. It is so much easier now than ever for new fans to have access to plus-size cosplays or cosplays of characters that they actually want to cosplay, authentic anime merchandise and memorabilia to just engage with that won't break the bank, and even just having movie premieres for things like the new Chainsaw Man movie or even a special rerun of Perfect Blue in cinemas. The fact that I went from being a huge anime fan as a kid to then working in brand management.
So all this stuff is well and good, but that just goes to show how I feel as though this illustrates Joey's point even further, because he didn't have all of these luxuries. Like, he and other anime fans back then, like 10 to 20 years ago, didn't have all these luxuries, and it was only because of them, like them asking, like helping make it more mainstream, that newer like this is accessible to both older and newer anime fans. So it just kind of, so the fact that certain newer anime fans take all of this for granted is, yeah, I would understand if somebody's like him is frustrated by all this.
Well, of course they take it for granted because they grow up with its availability. That's like we growing up with cars being absolutely normal everywhere and relatively easy to access, when 100 years ago, good laugh. But higher availability is also what makes it more accessible to the people who don't at their core care about it, who are superficially there but not with substance.
Right.
And then it's, oh, I can be cool. Ooh, I'm part of it. Yay. And no, well, we'll see. We'll see whether that's true.
Yeah, no, it's the same issue with the anime men, that they had so much anime, they just got sick and tired of it. And if they had respect for the actual genre, or whatever they were watching, because they obviously had interest in one of the genre, that's why they picked up on, I don't know, one guy liked, it was like some mech, I don't even think it was an isekai, it was something popular. He liked that one a lot. The other guy liked rom-com. The other guy liked sci-fi. It's like, okay, great. Now that you've watched these, don't you think you should go back and rewatch them? Because you might have missed something now that you're appreciating this of that genre, but you didn't like it the one 40 years ago for some reason?
Yeah, I think this is their main problem, right? If they just made like a single video, like this ranking like the best anime from like the year from like the 90s or early 2000s, and then gradually moved on to like older anime, I think I think they would like look at it in a much different light, but that's not what they did.
How long did they do? Sorry, go on.
Oh no, I was finished. Sorry.
Okay. How long did they do this for? 2 or for 3 days? Do you remember?
It must have been longer than that.
Okay, because the thing is, the average anime episode and lots of the very, very early things are just are under 20 minutes, but the average episode is 20 minutes. And often they would even cut out early. So if you do this for a work day, which is 8 hours, you would get 3 episodes per hour, which makes 24 hours a day. If you do this for 3 days, you get 72 episodes. That is enough to cover. If they say we looked at the bestest, however that was ruled, bestest anime of every decade, of every year, which means 1 anime per year, which is 10 in a decade, you would get from 1950 to today to something above 70.
Yeah, but these guys did it in groups. They didn't watch the same things, and
yeah, which means they had even more time.
It just seems silly to just have it. The guys do this and the other guys do that, as opposed to
of course. What I'm trying to get at is they had all the time in the world to watch these things, not be bored of it, because, well, any hard fan of anything, an 8-hour run every day of doing something, that is work, that is tiring, and having all these different things all in a row, that's probably overload.
Well,
however, that's your project, and you better pay attention doing it.
Yeah, if they imagine
they could have structured it in any way, but they decided to do it in a really asinine way like that.
Yeah, they could keep their exact same score and what they thought, but at least introduce the anime in a respectful way. This was the best of this year because of XYZ. People love the characters, people love the setting, and it reminded, just introduce it like you're going down memory lane, and then say, you know what, even despite all that, it just wasn't for me. I didn't like any of the characters, and because they were boring. Just give me your reason. That's it. Just make me understand why it's a F- or a D+. Give me some sense of your sensibilities and intelligence, so that I can go, okay, there's a human behind the face here, and not some snot-nosed kid. And it was just a bunch of kids, and I'm like, this is not professional. You're not doing anything seriously. So
yeah, and to be completely honest, I doubt a lot of anime fans today, even the most hardcore ones, go back and rewatch those old anime, despite having a fond appreciation for them. If they simply made that video to a series where they dedicate some time into each series and say, I like this anime did this, which is pretty cool and revolutionary, but I wasn't a fan of the overall narrative, this has a plot hole, this, and that. That would have been fine too, but it just felt like they didn't give it a chance, and they just wanted to dunk on it.
Well, I like the idea that what they tried to do was the first episode, because the first episode or the first chapter of anything should really hook you in, and there should be reasons for that. And they had to okay, I'm looking for attention-grabbing things, themes that are going to pop out, characters that are going to be stand out. That is what you do in chapter 1. So that's where I wanted their mentality to be because they can't review Cowboy Bebop in one episode. You can try, but it's not going to be very, you're going to miss the whole point because every episode of Bebop is different. So you can still give me episode 1 and how great it was and why, and what were the hooks. What were the characters like? Why did they work? Why did the music and the timing work? Why did the action scenes work? Why didn't they work? Very simple stuff. You don't have to be a critic. You don't have to be very knowledgeable in animation and technique. Just say, why was it good or bad? And it was just so childish. It was just I'm bored. Yeah, it wasn't very fun. I didn't like it.
Yeah. And then you would also have these exceptional things where you would need to know that for the first episode of Neon Genesis Evangelion, you would actually have to watch the first 2 as they were released together, and that's how they were conceptualized. On the other end of that, chat just said that they were watching some or most of these at 1.5 to 2 times speed, which makes it even worse. That one means they had even more time. Secondly, they can't even judge the things on their pacing and their weight properly, because there are many things, especially in anime, in later anime, where everything is about these pauses that give you time to contemplate, to process, where you have this still image of landscape or some still image of in a room, and it's relatively quiet. It gives you time to breathe, to process. It's a type of cinematic punctuation. And that gets lost if you just play it too quickly, just as the weight of action scenes gets lost if you play it too quickly. The way a mech moves and stomps down, the way a building breaks and crushes. For the people who played RTSs, who played Warcraft 3, they will remember that absolutely mind-blowing spell scene where Archimond summons this model of Dalaran and then destroys it, so with these slow but meaningful movements, and you have the shot of the towers of Dalaran from below, and and you first see nothing, and then there's this little crack, and then very slowly the tower crumbles the way that it was crushed in this little dust model. And if you play that too fast, because you watch some review of that thing, like I played Warcraft for the first time now, 25 years later, but you have the video on at double speed, and you see that cutscene at double speed. It just rushes through like some cheap gacha game on your phone.
Yeah, it's
horrible.
It's like watching the first episode of Monster or Mushishi. Like, it's just, it's just the start of all kinds of things. But if you've never seen that before, and you're only watching, the 22-minute first episode, it's like, that's like, what? That's boring. I don't get it. It's gonna.
You have to watch them in the original speed.
Yeah. Anyway, they obviously did it wrong. We could talk about it later. Let's go through some super chats and get back to the video. We're probably going to go through halfway, unless she has some really good points. She's not really saying anything that is striking me as worthy of talking about, at least. Here's from Aces Rocks. Thank you, sir, for the 5. Financial growth is not worth the loss of sincerity, especially if said growth goes against the spirit and culture of the source. These guys are a bunch of young men who like to sing and dance, and for whatever reason took up the mantle of reviewing anime and making that part of their channel. So maybe they're part of the cosplay performance part of anime manga fandom. I don't know.
Seemed profitable at the time.
I guess if they know the algorithm and they know how to make stuff, that's their goal. So they don't really care about being in depth or liking something a lot or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And one from Frog Jupiter for the 5. Tourism implies that they'll come and go, a self-correcting problem, but they intend to stay like an illegal in the U.S. I prefer the term invader. Ooh. Their channel.
Hobby invaders, yes.
Yeah, their channel will still be here another year or so, and they'll still keep watching Shonen and making music videos, I assume. So.
Yeah.
The thing is, what this whole thing implies to me, that these people, so they picked up anime during the coup,
yeah,
and then stuck with it, and in the end they made this video.
Yeah.
It tells me that these guys have nothing in their lives. They have no actual interests or hobbies, or they wouldn't have done this.
Well, no,
because then during the coup they would have engaged with their hobbies.
They obviously like performance. So doing this is part of that. It's adjacent to it because it's the same topic. They're just not very good at in an intellectual sense. They're more emotional. They're more.
But then there would have been some type in regards to performance where they would be actually interested in.
Well, there are fans who like a thing and they can't explain it because they're not sensitive enough, or they are too expressive, so they can't actually articulate that. They're more emotional than they are intellectual. So that's fine, but you wouldn't want them to explain an essay they wrote because it would be a mess. They could write lyrics, they could write some poetry, they could sing in song. It doesn't matter. That's how they would do it. It's the subjective experience of whatever they felt. So to do it this way in the way they did it was insulting to the rest of us, just because we can't relate to
none of the things that you just mentioned as examples.
All right.
None of it.
All right. Anyway, we're at 13 minutes. I'm going to go up to 18 just to say we went to the halfway mark. But unless there's some highlights here, I'm not getting any major.
She barely got into the video's premise of anime tourists aren't real.
Yeah, I know. It's
we once we get to the halfway mark and call it quits with her, we have to do the final 2 minutes of insanity.
Or you want to jump to the end? Sure, we can do that. Yeah, no problem.
Once we get to the halfway point.
UK to now being a full-time niche is all thanks to the popularity of things like kawaii culture from Japan and anime. Myself and many other creators would not have the opportunities that we have if it wasn't for the mainstream popularity and growth of anime. It's just kind of a simple fact. And so I do kind of get it.
And I wouldn't be here without us, by the way. Just saying. Give some credence to the people with the long grey beards.
I get it. Most of Joey's feelings weren't invalid.
Yeah?
Yeah, so shouldn't that validate like what some people who care about anime tourism feel? Because they're like newer fans aren't appreciating the same like content or anime that made the entire medium grow successful in the first place, and they're just like saying, "Hey, you better show it the respect it deserves." Like, to me, that just seems like the right thing to do.
Yeah, show some
If
respect.
you're going
to
to make an appeal about mainstream success, like remembering your roots, then you should remember like where specifically those roots are.
Okay.
I didn't necessarily vibe with the idea of wanting to correct new gen fans. Neither did I think that joking about bullying them also made much sense when you were previously lamenting on the fact that you got bullied for liking anime. But in general,
yeah, we got bullied, if we got bullied, by the people who didn't like anime because they were idiots. And the problem is that those who would have been those bullies are now the tourists. And we have every right to bully them.
Possibly. This is two different things. One's personal, and with this video, the video we're critiquing, it's fans talking about other fans, and they're on the same topic, and the other fans don't know what they're talking about. Is that the issue?
Yeah, but here's the thing. These people who pretend to be fans, the anime men who pretend to be fans.
I think they're fans. They're just not very good at it.
No, I don't believe that.
They are.
The one guy maybe
They are
a
not.
little, but they would have been 20 years ago. They would have been the kids who bully others for liking anime because they said all the things about the shows that somebody who shits on people for liking anime says. That's that. And now, and it is our prerogative to push them out the door because they obviously don't like the thing that they pretend to be about.
Well, I would argue there's all kinds of fans and versions of them, whether they're tourists or otherwise. They are the fan of the thing. They just don't understand it the way other fans do. And I could express all my time on the BioWare social forums when they were still a thing. Everyone there was a fan. Everyone there had to have bought the game in order to register. So,
yeah, you had several hurdles to even get to the forum, make an account, take the effort to make an account and then post there.
Yeah.
That all these extra hurdles, they're not present here.
Well, even then, the people there were fanboys, and they were biased fanboys who didn't know any better. And when you try to bring up arguments about storytelling or narrative or characterization or progression, they're like, you're just a hater, you're just nitpicking, you don't know anything. You're like, they'll just fix it in the sequel. And you're like, yeah, no, they won't. So, just because you have a barrier to entry, literally a SIN or whatever code to register, doesn't mean they're not a fan. It just means that even if they're in the same room, if we could argue the forum is a room, that they just aren't as sensible as other people. They do not have the knowledge, and they do not have the patience or the mind for appreciating a certain art form. And that's fine.
There are people who say they like food, but all they eat is fries with ketchup.
That's fine. But if you expect them to give you an essay or an analysis on potatoes, russet versus golden or whatever, you're not going to get much out of them. And that's what we're criticizing. We're criticizing their lack of sensibility. So
yeah, because they judge everything by, is it fries with ketchup? And they say, oh, that's not fries with ketchup. I don't like it. It's bad. It's F tier.
Yeah, pretty much.
Was fairly innocuous, if just a little bit jaded. And you know what? When your whole career has been in anime YouTube, and you've made such a name for yourself in that sphere, you're probably allowed to be a little bit jaded. But just like anyone, Joey isn't immune from having a bad take or a lack of research in his content. In his most recent video, The Disturbing Bottom of the Anime Iceberg Explained, he goes on to mention the 3-part OVA series, Malice Doll.
I am Doll, and I will give you a kiss.
And if you're not familiar with me, I actually did a full deep dive and breakdown of Malice Doll on my channel a couple of months ago. In Joey's 3.5-minute section on this particular anime, he criticizes the animation pretty harshly. Something which the actual story of Malice Doll was actually crafted around due to budget and animation limitations. It's actually a really interesting story when it comes to how it was created. And then after this, he also goes on to incorrectly assume that the writer for this series was a woman, all despite him—
All right, this is silly. I don't care about this guy's. Why is she criticizing him?
I would say like she's trying to make the point. Oh, well, you made a mistake in you made a bunch of mistakes in covering this obscure anime by not doing a sufficient amount of research. Who are you to criticize the anime men?
It's a false
making a bunch of
equivocation.
mistakes. Yeah, and even if we accept this, I'm happy to say, okay, like Joey didn't do enough research into this. That still doesn't give the anime men a pass.
Yeah,
and
because
the anime men are much worse because they are like they're disregarding like a bunch of well-known anime.
Well, the idea of what they did is kind of funny in the concept that imagine you're in a bus and you say, "Yeah, I visited Italy," and you're just in the bus and you just kept going through Italy in the bus, like you just saw a bunch of landmarks or cities and you just went right by it. It's like,
could have watched a movie.
Yeah, it's kind of like watching a documentary of someone traveling, So that's kind of the literal, like they were literally traveling through history of anime, and they're
drive-by tourism, worst kind of tourism.
Exactly, like it's almost literal that what they did because they were just inundated with anime for 4 or 5 days or whatever how long it was, and it's silly. Even I would be like, oh, I watched like 7 anime. They're all different, and all different time periods. And I don't know what to think about it. Like, I would have to like spend a week just to get my thoughts in order, if I remembered everything.
But I made a mistake. I said false equivocation. It's false equivalence, and the specific one that happens here is, oh, you claimed the anime men were wrong about everything, which they were. Pretty much, like 99% of it was absolute garbage, which is why we all criticized them, to put it mildly. And she then says, oh, but this guy, he wasn't perfect. He had 1% wrong. That's the same thing, so he can't complain about them being 99% wrong. And I'm sorry. Please go out the door.
All right. Here's one more from Frog Juper. Thank you for the 5, sir. Folks like the anime men makes me glad that catch wrestling is a niche as is. Most who try it will lose interest due to the cardio and the real ones stay. Okay. Yeah, there's a version of sports that we're slowly learning that we can all take part in. You don't have to do the full court tennis. You could do pickleball. You could do badminton. I guess catch wrestling is one of... There's was it fantasy football? Not fantasy football. What's that one with all the women and they have like the ropes or the strings, or they have to grab something. They don't tackle each other, I don't think. But it's a bunch of women playing football in pads, and they're got was it cords to pull to knock them down? I don't know. There is something for everyone so far in sports. We're slowly getting there. We could definitely say manga and anime. There's always something for everyone. So 14 and a half minutes.
Writers' other works, such as Serial Experiments Lane. This surface-level mistake and the mocking of the animation can be framed and criticised in the exact same way as the anime men. If we're going to roast people for not enjoying Astro Boy purely because...
As I just said, and to be honest, as I said, just wrote in chat, with that photo and that name, it's not that easy to tell for an outsider that what gender that is. I'm sorry. Especially nowadays. Like, yeah, okay, check some web page about him, but if you just go by that, tough call.
It was so relevant for the medium, but I think it's also fair to say that Joey hitting anime with a less than nuanced lens. In fact, he was roasted on Twitter himself for the Malice Doll section of his video when that video released. And I'm not gonna lie, I got a bit of a cameo when this happened because people were essentially comparing watching me and Joey to being in that saw trap where you have to pick someone to die. It was a really funny tweet. It was really funny, I'm not gonna lie. I appreciate that. That was actually really, really funny. But there was one portion of Joey's video on anime tourism that actually gained a lot of notoriety and virality on short-form platforms like TikTok. This being the comparison of the colonization of America and the discovery of America by Christopher Columbus and anime tourism.
I don't remember where I saw it, but I remember seeing a comment on like a TikTok or a YouTube video or something where somebody called these anime tourists, or at least this new rise or era of anime tourists as the Columbus era of anime. You know, much like Christopher Columbus, who went to the Americas, mistook it for India, and called the natives now a term that I'm not allowed to say anymore.
Now, to be fair, Joey states that this is an allegory.
Indians? You just said the word Indian.
Yeah, which just means people of the land, indigenous.
What?
It's like that's why the people of India were called Indians.
Why can't you say...
The world was Hindustan before.
Unless he means Native American, I don't think that's offensive to any... What is he talking about? I can't use the word Indians when I said the word India 2 seconds ago. What are you talking about?
You know what we are called? Indo-Germanic.
Oh, God.
It's the same thing. It's the Indus culture and all of that stuff. It's the Romans used the term a lot too. It just means people of the land.
Well, the worst thing to come out of politics this week was Canada having a No Kings rally. That was brilliant.
Oh, yeah, funded by George Soros.
That's, well, being a colony of Britain is kind of like, all right, no kings. Are you trying to tell someone something? Or Canada?
No. They added that. They don't mean Charles though.
Oh yeah, right, sure, yeah.
So no kings, except Charles is fine because he's on their side.
I'm sure our AG is like, yeah, it's great Canadian moment there.
But,
bloody
hell. But getting back to like Joey's comment, like, does she not know what an analogy is? Because it sounds as though she's like outraged over, like saying, over Joey saying, over Joey saying that anime tourism is the same as the colonization of the Americas, which isn't what he's saying. He's comparing a specific aspect from the colonization to anime tourism. But I don't know. Let's see what she said.
Yeah, but it isn't wrong because that is what the tourists are doing.
Yeah,
and as they always claim that, you're so one. They say for one, it's especially the ideologues. We have to respect other cultures. You aren't allowed to appropriate other cultures. No cultural appropriation. And they say cultural imperialism is bad. And then these very people go around and tell other cultures that they should be different and more like their socialist dogma. And that's what we've also have seen happening, which is where the censorship comes from, and the strange rewriting in translations, and then the demands of the Japanese. And some studios fell for the trap of the corporations above them. Fell for the trap of thinking that this Western audience is this modern audience that all these activists keep telling us about, and this ESG money that they give us is about. So we'll make that stuff, we'll make it more like that, and then they fall flat on their faces like everybody else. Because that is actively changing somebody else's culture to some bullshit. And that's what the tourists want as well. When they go, yeah, I love anime, except that the women they look way too sexy. I'm embarrassed to watch this. Can you make them less like women, and so that I don't feel embarrassed watching this? No, we like the women looking like women, and we like caricatures looking like caricatures.
But he does go on to even double down on the idea that anime tourists are colonizing the community and colonizing the medium.
He was like, well, I discovered it, and fuck all of you guys. This is my place now. And I was like, holy shit, this is exactly what these anime tourists are doing. They're like coming to these.
Yeah, and at the same time, they call that decolonization. So you have to seize your culture so that it becomes more like the ideology, and they call that decolonization, because apparently us not being like their cultish garbage is us having colonized ourselves somehow. It's madness. It's absolute gaslighting.
Coming to their lands, planting their flag in the soil, and going, we own this land now. Out of the way, previous people.
And if you know anything about American history, Native American history, you know that colonization wasn't this situation where the native people stepped aside.
Okay, this is getting weird.
Oh my god, you're so. Oh my god. Okay, all she's doing here is displaying her inability to engage in a conversation where someone points out similarities in something that isn't identical to it. Because pointing out pointing out the fact that they aren't 100% identical does not refute the comparison of the relevant aspects. If two things were exactly the same, right, there would be no point in making an analogy in the first place. Like her not conceiving that isn't Joey's problem, it's hers.
To come and take over, the Americans, the white settlers, forcibly made their home and took the land from the native.
Not solely. That is untrue. There were settlers that were working well together with the natives. Even to look into the story of the lost colony of Roanoke, for example, which most likely just merged with the local tribe, as we can still tell by genetic samples, as they didn't make it through winter, but the tribe took them in. And there's also more other positive stories. There were, however, also pretty roaming, raiding, slaving, and genocidal tribes that were terrorizing the other tribes, the nicer ones. And with those, it was most likely to get into trouble. Of course, there were also asshole settlers. In South Africa, you have a similar story with the Zulu. You don't want to look into that, or it will shatter your little happy little world where the white people are always the bad guys. Same with Rhodesia. Beautiful. You don't want to know about the Maori and who previously lived on New Zealand, what the Maori did with them, who are the actual invaders, by the way. So, who really owns New Zealand if the Maori aren't even the original indigenous people who claimed it first? Those are all interesting questions. But under the line, all that matters is that the anime tourists are coming in and we are fighting back. Because they are just ravaging the land and destroying the natural wonders and the sanctity of nature, our holy mountains and glades, our wonderful trees and forests.
All right, here
that
is...
we'd like to keep.
Here's the Frog Jupiter again for the 5. Okay. A colonizer requires no force. It is merely immigration without assimilation. Sounds like the tourist coming in asking to change what was already here. In a way, yeah. This is, I mean, I'm not sure why.
Make your own anime, and then they make the Crunchyroll does it, and it's like, oh god.
Yeah, well,
oh god.
Yeah, it's kind of like, hey, I can do sushi. Japan's not the best at it. I can roll some rice. Okay.
Takeover that was paved with the blood of the indigenous people, the erasure of their culture, and the stealing of their land. And the treatment.
They still have land.
So again, you do not understand what analogy is. He's not saying that's 100% comparable. He's comparing a specific aspect from it to like the thing he's comparing it to, which is anime tourism.
Yeah, I have a feeling this is just her left-wing.
You do not understand what analogy is.
Yeah, I think
it's so frustrating.
This is her political, whatever she was taught in school about colonization, seeping into the narrative that she's supposedly not bringing up. It's like, okay, honey, we get it. You studied liberal arts. They taught you some weird stuff. You're using these buzzwords.
Have that in school. Here in school,
If you didn't eat breakfast this morning, how would you feel?
Look, in German high school, they now give assign projects to write essays about microaggressions. I shit you not. That is this year. We are fucked. We are literally fucked. And to add one little thing to her political rant there, the people who complain about the whole Native American thing to this day the most are the very same people, and the same thing goes is going in Canada. The very same people who complain about, oh, but the poor Native Americans, you stole their land, are the same people who demand borderless mass immigration without any filters, so that the natives lose even more of their home country and will never get it back because those new people who flood in, they're not even building anything up. That's great, isn't it? Is that would that be the next stage of anime tourism? The people who just completely cannibalize it? Ugh.
All right. Well, let's try one more minute of this, and hopefully we'll get off this topic.
Americans is still a big issue, including the ongoing
oh my
femicide
God,
and
honey.
rates of
See,
violence
there,
that
told
Native
it.
American women face in America. And look, I'm not
Oh, then why?
No. We're skipping this. I don't care.
dense. I understand the point he was trying to make. But even with the modern anime community and cosplay community's treatment of people of color and the current suffering of people in places like Gaza, this really just
Okay.
was a section that
Okay,
shouldn't have made the final cut and just shouldn't have left his mouth, to be honest. Especially because some anime fans do
Okay, so a lot to talk about because I am I am like familiar with what she's talking about regarding like missing native women and stuff like that. What she does, so that's true.
They did it the other way around too.
Well, no, it is true that Native American women go missing, but I don't really see what the relevance is in bringing them up. Because they're missing because Native American men are killing them the same way other racial groups tend to kill people within their own race. If you look at maps for crime rates per county, and then you go look at maps where there are Indian reservations, you'll tend to find that that the missing women tend to be tied to professions like prostitution. They tend to be human trafficked, and or they tend to be associated with drug dealing on a majority of male work camps. So the work camps are located in remote areas near native reservations, which are pretty much all men that are linked to these crimes, but they don't get any attention the same way a lot of black on black crime doesn't receive any attention, because it brings to light problems present of the community of the victims. Again, like, I don't really understand why she's framing it like that, other than to shame Joey for using an analogy.
Because she has absolutely no clue about any of these things. She probably doesn't even know that the reservations have their own police force, that they get to police themselves. And, oh god, the Gaza thing. At the time that they made the peace thingy, the new one, they still had 3 months worth of food there, which is basically maximum that you can store. Which means nobody was starving. It was a complete fabrication, which you can see by them having posted wonderful pictures of themselves with tons of bread and their supermarkets on the first day of that, being all fat and saying, oh, I can finally buy food for my hungry wife and children. Yeah, maybe they were starving because you were eating it all, you fat slob.
Oh, no.
It's hilarious. And at the same time, the Hamas people said, oh yeah, we're not aiming for real peace. We are just taking this as a breather to prepare for our next attack. They already said that, because that's what it does, how it goes every single time. And what you also don't know is that there are 2 million Arab Muslims in Israel. They're fine, they're happy, they get to vote, they even part in the parliament. 22% of them. 22% of Israel is Arab Muslims. Isn't that funny? And they have no trouble. It's just these weirdos there in that little strip that is full of madness and has basically a Volkssturm with kids TV, where you have someone in a Mickey Mouse costume who gets stabbed by a Jew, and then they say, yeah, we need to avenge Farfur and kill Israel. That's what they do. You never watched that, did you? You don't know about that, how they radicalize the children. Just like they do it in China, where they get little elementary school children onto school trips, where they then give them little bayonets and uniforms and then have them run up to straw figures dressed in Japanese uniforms and say, kill the Jap, kill the Jap. Wonderful, wonderful. But hey, we don't criticize those fascists, right? We only criticize the fascists that the left tells us to hate, which probably aren't even real fascists. You have nothing between your ears but propaganda and damage control for your friends who are phonies.
Well, there's no reason for her bringing her political issues to this conversation when criticizing the gentleman. It's getting silly.
She ran out of excuses, that's the point. That's why she's resorting to this now.
All right. Well, we'll go for another 30 seconds, and then we'll jump to the last 2 minutes. Hopefully it won't just be a plug to her whatever.
You can make it free.
Yeah, and again, I want to reiterate, she did not refute what he said about like people claiming, like people disregarding, like people who actually who are native cultures, native to the culture of Japan, like saying, yeah, we like how like Japanese anime is currently, and we don't want to change it.
Yeah.
In a way, they're elitist in their own way. She doesn't want to acknowledge that.
All right.
They are in some capacity, in some framework, a minority themselves. That they're oppressed for being these original fans.
Yeah,
so
we
people
are.
on TikTok, quite rightly, called Joey out for this comparison as well.
No, we are, because you are changing our stuff. You are rewriting the lines in the works to suit your idiotic ideology, instead of just respecting the works for what they are. We remember what you did to Dragon Maid.
Of denying the political undertones and importance.
Video, he actually compares anime tourists to the colonization of the Americas. Are we serious right now?
God,
You
these
are
people
really
do not know what
comparing
an analogy is. It's
Yeah,
so
well,
weird.
They call it decolonizing anime, seriously. So and it's always the opposite of what they say. So it is colonized. They are colonizing anime. By saying they decolonize it from us, they mean they colonize it with themselves. It's just very stupid word games around the corner.
really comparing anime becoming mainstream to the death of millions and countless atrocities.
Oh, jeez.
My
No,
God,
he literally didn't.
chill. It's not that deep. May I remind you, we are literally talking about Japanese cartoons.
Yeah, and you know what? You know what you should do? You should do what the Germans did in the Battle of Teutoburg Forest. Beat back the Roman legions. 3 legions at once, crushing the Roman spirit, because they tried to colonize us, they wanted to enslave us, they wanted to extract taxes from us, and we said no, and we actually beat them back, which nobody else managed. We did it. And now we have income tax, and that's really stupid, and have this European Union and all this other socialist crap. So maybe we need another Teutoburg. Everybody needs a Teutoburg.
It's really not that deep, okay?
So let me get this right. You make a political analogy comparing anime tourists and
It's not a political analogy.
What was political about it?
He's making an analogy.
The very word colonization, they can't detach it from the poor natives.
Yeah, no, it's one of the minorities that you're using a loaded word, what we know very well, and therefore it's political.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like no.
They call it they say decolonization when they target Europe, although we are the natives of here that they are attacking and trying to get rid of. So it's just malice every time. They just use whichever word is applicable, which brings us back to the whole Frieren analogy, where these people just use words in order to make us behave a certain way so that they can get their way. They will say whatever gets them their way, just to confuse us.
Who wants to bet that this guy, like being super anal over people using colonization, he's very himself is very liberal in his use of calling people Nazis.
Yeah, and this is not even using what the idea of Christopher Columbus was doing. It was just him naming the natives Indians. That's it. That's the thing. Even though he got the name wrong and the meaning wrong, he was just pointing to these people. That's it. That's all he was saying.
And if you can't call the Native Americans of North America, the Native Americans Indians anymore, then you don't get to call us Germans, because that's not our word for ourselves. You will call us Deutsch. German was the Roman word for us because they didn't bother distinguishing between the tribes, just like your word Indian doesn't bother to distinguish between the tribes.
Yeah, it's the same with Japan. They call themselves Nippon. So it's same idea.
So you better fucking learn all the names of the German tribes, and then we can keep talking.
All right. Well, I think we're almost done. This is getting silly. We'll just go for another 10 seconds, then we'll skip to the end.
All right.
I call you out on said political analogy. I need to go outside. All right, bro. To clarify my point.
Yeah, I don't care. We're good. Okay, let's see how far we can go. 32 minutes.
Yeah, it looks okay. Let's go from here.
All right.
Astro Boy and its significance in the anime medium. I do like Astro Boy as a whole, but was the first episode a bit of me? No, most pilot episodes, most first episodes aren't necessarily the best ones. But I guess let me know down.
More damage control. That was it? Boo.
Yeah, 2 minutes of...
So the rest is just plugs?
I don't know.
Shit.
Yeah, let's find out.
But
Down below, what do you think of the term anime tourism? Have you been considered an anime tourist or called one in a comment section? What did you think of the Anime Men's original video and their follow-up apology, which again...
They had an apology? Oh, God.
Yeah, they made a follow-up video where they said, yeah, we got wrong, and we decided to take a look at some of the other anime, and they had like more positive reception towards it.
That's good.
Again, I would say like in terms of apology videos, it's way better. It's like a masterclass. That's why I'm saying that's why I pretty much forgive the Anime Men, but
a masterclass
at the same time, it's just like at the same time, like people like Addy didn't seem to learn anything from it because they did fuck up by not respecting the medium. And she's just like, well, no, they shouldn't apologize. They're goofy. They're just funny, goofy boys. Leave them alone.
Yeah.
No.
Interesting choice. Like, I don't get it. I hate the term "it's not that deep" because quite often it's just a shutdown to an intellectual debate.
Oh my God.
Are you talking about intellectual debate with the anime men?
Bitching around. Just bitching about tropes you don't like.
Where was the intellectual debate of the anime men?
But in this instance, was it that deep? Let me know.
No!
You just wanted to say yourself that the answer was no. That's why you bit your lip.
Good Lord, lady.
You gaslighting little bitch.
All right.
Borderline, I tell you. Fucking borderline. And, okay, so she's 100 points in the negative. She likes pink and purple. Stocking has pink and purple hair. If you show me that you have a stocking figurine, you get plus 5 points.
What is up with your panty and stocking interest here? What does this have to do with anything?
What does it have to do with nothing?
Okay, Wisp. Anyway, let's
Stocking
go.
Has to do with everything.
Let's go to memes. Let's see what we got in the meme channel. All right. Guess I got to read this out. Anime fans have a problem with people who disrespect the medium, not new fans who want to engage with it genuinely. Ellen Historian and other anime tourist defenders, if those kids could read, they'd be very upset. And then we have, is this Boxy? Who is this?
Whoever this is.
It looks like Shu.
Is it Shu? Yeah.
It looks like Shu.
A young Shu? Who knows?
I think she's doing her makeup well enough that we can never tell.
Did she do makeup tutorials? I don't think so. Maybe. Could have been. While she was with Armored Skeptic? I can't recall. Anyway. Watch subgenres of anime that actually interest them or complain about fan service in shonen anime that they clearly aren't interested in. Oh no, there's so many memes. Oh my God, anime is becoming popular. People will stop calling me a nerd for watching anime. I'm still a nerd and the fake weebs are ruining the anime community. I'm still a nerd and the fake weebs are ruining the anime community. Okay. When you join the anime club, but it's just normies who've watched Demon Slayer and Tokyo Revengers. I've never been to an anime club where it was only mainstream, if at all. So they never watched the mainstream stuff.
I specifically always had a brainfuck slot in my anime clubs, where I then would screen things like Mononoke, Serial Experiments Lane, Techno Lies,
Lane,
everything that just screwed you up.
Oh God, Senpai of the pool, what's your wisdom? The pandemic is just a filler arc. Now that the manga has caught up, we will soon go back to World War III arc. Oh my God.
I fear that's true.
Oh, good Lord. What's the sauce? Newborn weeb. Okay. The sauce.
I don't think I want to know.
I think I know what that is, but I don't remember the name, and I'm okay with that. Jeez. Here's Steven Crowder. Complaining about fan service in shonen anime is like complaining about blood and violence in slasher films. Change my mind. Fair enough. Anime tourists disrespecting the medium of anime and acting like an entitled child. Actual anime fans who respect the medium and have been here longer. They spelled here wrong. Okay. In 1960, a 17-year-old assassinated socialist politician Inijiro Asanuma with samurai sword during a televised speech in Tokyo. Holy crap.
Yeah. He was not, and he was an open communist for China, and allegedly, said 17-year-old, then he seppuku'd himself in his prison cell.
Wow.
And claimed that, oh no, he's sorry, he shouldn't have done that, which nobody actually believes. They made action figures of him. You can buy statues of him.
The fuck?
Of exactly this scene.
Well,
and one day I will have one.
When was the date that Yukio Mishima killed himself? I can't remember. That was the last time that was publicly known that seppuku was committed. I'm trying to recall the date. Anyway.
Well, either way, he despawned himself. Let's say that way. Probably didn't have a sword in his cell.
BSD hairstyles. Okay. Danny Mata watching them for the first. Who's Danny Mata?
I do not understand this.
Yeah. News to me. Is this too hip for me? Am I too old? What's going on? Oh my!
Probably a hair joke.
What is happening? What am I looking at?
I don't know.
Oh, what are you looking at?
The Family Guy.
Family Guy. So I don't know what that is.
Oh right. It's the joke is Peter watched anime for like a week and now he looks like that and talks funny.
Sure.
Okay. Then he's a tourist.
Well, anime, and what is that? Who is that?
I don't know.
Oh, he's just supposed to be like a what's the term? Like moe, like he's supposed to be just like a super stereotypically anime.
Yep.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, it's weird. Like a lot of Western animators like try to draw characters as being like Japanese or like Japanese inspired, but they're just like way off the mark and it just comes across as alien.
Okay. Weird. This is a tweet from Galactabee. Whenever anybody does the what if X property was anime, they just slap on stereotypical anime eyes and spiky hair, regardless of what genre the source material is. So anime Homer would realistically look like a Shin-chan character or something.
I fully agree. Shin-chan would be the proper style for the Simpsons in anime.
Huh.
Yeah, I love Shin-chan.
So Donut Lip Homer is very cursed to look at.
Really funny.
Yeah.
Gordon Ramsay telling the anime man to Minecraft themselves. He's out of line, but he's right. Okay.
One of the few good things coming from that show.
Oh, here we go. The very harsh reality you all have to accept is that back in 2010, if you told someone who watched anime they 100% thought you were talking about Naruto instead of any ecchi anime, then they still thought you were weird regardless. Okay. I mean, that's just how it
back
goes.
in 2010 they didn't know about Agent Aika.
Hoodweebs have ruined anime. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What do we got here? A big slam at catch tournament in the UK. Catch wrestling. What is catch wrestling? Oh my god. That looked very painful.
Okay.
I hope that floor was soft. My goodness. How do front suplex? No, guys, come on. This is not a meme.
What's this to do with the topic?
I don't know.
I mean, it does look cool.
Hawk is giving us a a tweet when the video got on about colonization and anime tourists. Millennial woes. It's amazing how much leftist discourse is just them pretending not to understand things, thus making discourse impossible.
Yep. And that's what narcissistic children do as well. All the behaviors, all the strategies of them making you mad and making you lose your mind is just how little children behave to get their way.
So now we have
This
more.
is one of them.
We have more catch wrestling. I swear, if you slam someone's back at that angle, at that speed, you're knocking the wind out of them.
That's the point.
You won't be able to move for like a minute. You'll be like knocked.
Bam.
Grappling neck crank technique. Okay, guys.
Why are you posting that?
I don't know. Farfour, may peace be upon him. Farfour?
Oh yeah, Farfour is the Palestinian Mickey Mouse that they kill by that they have to be killed by a Jew so that the children want to take revenge against Israel.
Oh my God. All right.
Check out Memory TV. It has all the episodes.
Here's Hawk again. Need I remind you, Hawk, what happens when a woman talks about a topic? They go on a pointless lefty rant.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Smud, you got another super chat.
Oh no. I'll read it at the end. I don't want to switch screens.
I can read it for you if you want.
If you want, go right ahead, yeah.
Frog Jupiter for $2. I was showing why wrestling has no tourists.
Oh, because they get body slammed all the time?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Meet Annie Toker? What's an Annie Toker? 0 anime watch, 0 manga read, 7 arguments with chibi reviews?
And Annie Toker is like an anime TikToker.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
All art is political, thanks. All art is leftist. Oh, thinks all art is leftist. Okay. I can guess where this is going.
Yeah, that's something I really hate about people who say that all art is political. Because when they try to say that all art is political, they're saying, "Oh, it was made in this specific time frame," and which it doesn't make it partisan, political in the partisan sense, and it especially doesn't mean that it shares their politics specifically.
Yeah. Well. Not necessarily. What they mean is it's a subset of everything is political, the private is political, and which is not true. However, you can politicize everything, and when you politicize something, that means you want to control it, you want to have a say in it. And by saying everything is political, they can say, I want a say in everything you do and think. That's what it's really about.
A man deprived of his documents. Oy. How about anime community became bad? Well, vocalizers? Vocalize? What the hell does that mean?
Localizers, but woke as a...
Okay. Hooded weebs. There's a building.
No, hood weebs. As in, the hood.
Yeah. Weebs
what?
from the hood.
I don't understand. Okay, whatever. Those who think trap is transphobic.
Mm-hmm.
Those who think lolicon is pedophilia. Anime tourists in the middle. Blackwashers? Okay.
Yeah, those who
who
fixed
like,
all the anime characters by making them black and really ugly, like this one.
Okay. Those who think fan service is sexist. Those who police content they don't like. And art fixers. Oh, those people.
I did not need to see that ever again.
Yeah, the art fixers are scary.
The made fad. Oh god, I haven't watched it in too long. I've watched too much. I'm starting to forget names of characters.
Yeah.
The fat guy in Animaniacs for the one short.
What we got here? Pocahontas Savages 1080p. Guys, what does that have? What are we doing?
It's the Savages song from Pocahontas. Watch it, rewatch it in your own time.
Yeah.
Because American Woman was mentioned.
Oh, all right. That's not a good reason to have
a
music clip from Disney. I don't know. Okay.
4-4.
Anyway, that was we're not going to finish this off. We're going to skip and not cover her. But yeah, those takes were stupid. Why does political discourse always have to seep into this for no reason?
Because that's
No
where
idea.
it comes from. That's where the tourism comes
Like,
from. They know.
look at
the,
this
the,
girl.
The ideologues know that they can wield the tourists.
She is so into her hobby, and all of a sudden, here's some stupid politics that have no business. Even if she was like the most left-leaning leftist, there was no reason to bring that up in this conversation.
She's the irrational, emotionally extorted woman who will help destroy the thing she loves. Without knowing it, while believing that she's protecting it.
Well, we did pretty good for, 2 hours, 10 minutes? Not bad.
If I can say, I find it funny that the subject of Native Americans came up, and I've been playing Assassin's Creed 3 for a little while now.
Are you killing Native Americans in that?
I play as a Native American.
Right. Conway.
Connor. Yeah.
Connor. Okay. Whew. Yeah, let's not get into any of that conversation, hopefully. Ever. Anyway, that was our Tuesday Anime Monday. So,
thanks for having me on for the first time.
yeah, I'm glad we got an anime fan, because we have a few that aren't, and we're trying to struggle to get.
We have a few. It's just that, real life happens and not everyone's available.
That's true.
Yeah. I try to be like a fan of like various genres.
It's tough.
Same, dude.
There's so many, and honestly, what we have this season, I'm just like, One Punch. They turned some new stuff into manga, or from manga that I didn't even like, the 999 Gacha one, which is a really dumb manga, but they blew so much money on it. It's like, wow, this is really good anime. It's so silly. There's the one I like with the lady. Can I ask you one more thing? And her solution to everything is punching people. It's hilarious.
One more thing.
Yeah, it's like Columbo.
So she's, yeah.
Yeah, she's a Columbo,
That's
but
a great
she punches
combination.
people. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's fairly good. So there are some good things to watch, but there's a lot I haven't even aware of. The Chinese stuff, the South Korean stuff, and I got to watch some more. It's just been a while since anything's caught my eye, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, don't watch this lady. She's I don't know.
She's not good.
I don't. Obviously, she's passionate. Obviously, she loves her hobby, but just keep the other doors
Wrong
closed.
Friends.
Keep the focus on. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, don't damage control for people who are disingenuous. That just makes you co-disingenuous.
Yeah, it's weird.
Which we have seen. Like some
it's
of her
weird.
reactions were just, hey, yeah, she's lying to herself. Great.
Yeah, because if you have you're criticizing the thing that everyone was criticizing, and then you're criticizing the critics who are criticizing that thing. It's like, wait a second, what are we doing here? What's wrong with the bad thing that everyone is criticizing that you have to criticize those critics? That's a bit silly. And the way she did it was not, or that guy rambling on about colonization, like, dude, that's not even what he was trying to get at. He was just using that as a way to show a comparison.
Yeah, you better not run into historians anywhere on the internet, because they will just tear you to shreds.
Or anyone who has any smattering of university experience to write essays or go to lectures or tutorials. It's just like, this is silly. This is all childish.
And actual essays, not the weird lefty sign nonsense essays.
Yeah, it's kind of weird when you're doing your master's. You're not writing essays anymore. You're doing all kinds of weird stuff that doesn't necessarily have to do with what you're studying. It's education in the arts these days is a little odd. So, I should talk to more people that are going through that, why they're still in it, and what they hope to accomplish. Either way, thank you guys. Whose suggestion was this again? I can't remember. I think it was. Was it?
Allow me to double check.
Yeah.
It's recent.
It was a decent suggestion.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
good. This was good. Yeah, I would have liked to have gone further, but if it was just more political mumbo jumbo, there would just be a point. This happened exactly the same way, only with that other video we covered previously, where everything was fine. It's like, yeah, you're just setting stuff up, and then the last
communism.
And then the last 20 minutes. What was the game? It was we just covered it with Hawk. It was Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, and again, you joked about how I only ever talk about them just talking about communism, and here we are again, and she talks about the bloody ideology and the bloody propaganda. That's all that's in her head, just as yesterday or the day before, whenever that was.
Well,
every single time. This is the bane of our civilization.
We should have a soundbite. We could just play the argument coming up. We just play the sound clip. We just, like our soundboard here. We just hit the drum
I mean, that's
kit.
basically just what they do, and then you can just counter
which
their
soundbite of all of them?
slogans with me.
I don't know. I have a bunch. I don't know who put these. I don't even know what this is.
English, motherfucker, do you speak?
Okay, now I know. Yeah, there's all these. Who added these? I didn't add these. Did you guys add them?
That was actually me, so we have something on board.
Oh, I never checked that. I thought this was a standard Discord crowd.
No, you have to be part of the Nitro, I think, and then you can use them.
Just people that are in charge of a Discord server can add them in.
Oh yeah. Oh, fair enough. Okay.
Having Nitro lets you use them across all servers.
Yeah, but we are
which is a different thing.
Yeah, but we're in a call, and
yeah, exactly. You can't do that.
I can't. That's not on the server.
So maybe we could do a call in the Smudcast, and then we could all use the
yeah,
sound.
but then we don't get the chat bubbles, but these ugly things.
Well, we'll figure it out. We'll play around with it. Anyway, thank you guys for your time. Have a great evening. We'll talk to you real soon. Good night.
And click that stupid button.
Yeah. Wait, if I could say something.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. But yeah, again, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate being a guest. If you guys want me to return the favor and host you guys on my channel for a stream,
maybe someday.
I'm more than happy to do that.
In the description, KinoFlex's page is right there, so go click that, check it out. We learned of Kino, or I learned of Kino just because I think one of the guys posted Kino's video about the Birdman, and the Birdman's an ongoing joke for the past few years.
Yeah.
Every time he replies,
it's years already.
It's years. Yeah. Every time he replies, it's always some ridiculous. It's the same stuff every time.
I was recently asked by someone in the server whether I'm okay because the Birdman sycophants are talking really bad things about me, and I was like, who?
Yeah, they're calling you a racist.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, who's this guy? Yeah.
I must have scarred him deeply.
Somehow. Yeah, we blacklisted him years ago, and it was just so silly. And then Kino recently did a rebuttal video. And you're like, yeah, this is like fish in a barrel, buddy. Just go for it, So,
I am a specter now. I live in their heads. I didn't
just
even know.
Just par for the course with that guy at this point.
Well, that's his
thing. If you guys had any videos suggestions for Birdman that you feel I should respond to, just let me know, or just streaming topics for Smudboy and the other guys.
Yeah,
the host on my
channel. Has been as is par for the course at this point.
Yeah, no.
But yeah.
I'll be bugging. I mean, we even had I was gonna say LitDev who wanted to join more. He's like, I want to join the Smudcast. But I was like, yeah, you're already part of it. He's too busy.
Yeah, just hit us up when you can.
Yeah, exactly. So if you guys want to be involved, message us. Message Kino, message Gingaman. Even in the casual chat, just say hello. And we do have a poll, so there's polling. And if we
although it would be best to keep that specifically to the Smudcast discussion, just to keep it
the
all
thing
in there.
Is, the polls get recycled, and we sometimes miss them, so we forget some of them that are still good.
Yeah, every so often we pull in suggestions from older polls just to gauge interest again.
Yeah, so maybe if Kino, you want to go through our old polls, that all these weird titles that people have suggested that we never covered.
I could do that.
Yeah. At least make sure to cross-reference with any that we've actually done.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I could go over certain videos that didn't make the cut.
Yeah,
all right.
You happy to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And while we're at it, if you like the more annoying, heavier stuff that I do for some reason, I put out a new thing on my little channel, and I wanted to make something shorter. It might happen in the next couple of weeks, but check it out.
All right.
That's what you say these days.
I'll check it out.
Good stuff, Wisp. Thank you guys for all your time. We'll talk to you soon. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.